Hi, welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to look at the NIP 6000 basic concepts or principles, which will help us understand the next few videos or the next few concepts about configuration and the scenarios. The overall mechanism of intrusion prevention device works like this, that whenever traffic enters an IPS, first of all, the application data is reassembled, because generally what the attackers do is that they fragment the data, or they create fragments out of the attack traffic, or create segments out of the attack traffic, which means that it becomes difficult for devices to recognize and to detect those attacks. If the attack traffic is fragmented, it becomes difficult to detect the attacks. So it is very important that the IPS reassembles that fragmented traffic, or reassembles those fragments. Once the traffic has been reassembled, then the protocol identification takes place, or analysis takes place. The IPS detects or checks that what protocols are these, what is the protocol that this traffic is made up of. Once a protocol has been identified, then it matches that protocol traffic against the signatures or the features, because every attack traffic, or all the attack traffics that are passing through the IPS, they have their particular features, or different types of attacks have their particular features. So if the traffic matches any of those features, this means that this is attack traffic. So the IPS is going to match this traffic against the signatures or the features. Once this feature matching is done, and if the traffic matches any of those attack traffic features, the appropriate action is taken. And generally, if it's an attack traffic, what we can do is we can block that attack traffic. So that is the purpose of IPS. The main purpose of IPS is to block the attack traffic. So that action, or the appropriate action, is taken. In order to understand how all this happens, let's take a look at a few more concepts of IPS, intrusion prevention. The first concept that we need to understand is signature. I already used the word signature in the last slide. What signature means is that every attack traffic has got a specific feature, or has a specific shape and behavior. We have to, or we need to know that behavior. That behavior which is stored within the IPS database is called a signature, which means that the IPS already knows that if this type of traffic comes in, or if the IPS looks at certain traffic behavior that is passing through it, it is going to match that against a signature which is already stored in the IPS. And that signature matching will tell the IPS that this is attack traffic. So this is just like a picture of a criminal. The IPS has got a large number of pictures in its database of criminal traffic, which is called signatures. Whenever the traffic is passing through, it takes a picture of that traffic and compares that picture with the picture database that it already has. And if the two pictures match, if the two types of traffic match, this means this is an attack. So the traffic coming in is matched against the picture or the signatures stored in the database of the IPS. And if the traffic matches, then this means it's attack traffic, and the IPS can take appropriate action. For example, the action of blocking the traffic. There are two types of signatures that are present, or that can be present in the IPS. One is called the predefined signatures, and the other one is called the user-defined signatures. Predefined signatures are already present when we buy the license for the IPS license. The predefined signatures are automatically loaded into the IPS, and the user-defined signatures can be defined by the user, by the administrator, and that those can be available even without the IPS license on the device. The different actions that can be taken by the IPS include the allow action, which means that the traffic is going to be allowed without generating a log. Alert action means that the traffic is still allowed to pass through, but this time a log is going to be generated. And block means that the traffic is going to be dropped, or the traffic is going to be blocked, discarded, and a log is going to be generated, plus the packet to which the flow to which the packet belongs, that flow is also blocked. So it discards the packet, it blocks the flow to which the packet belongs, and it generates a log of the traffic as well, or it generates a log of that activity as well, so that the administrator knows that it has taken this action, or this type of traffic was trying to traverse the IPS. So these are the different basic concepts related to signature. If we look at typical signature, how it works, this is an example of a SQL injection attack, that if a hacker is trying to add a user to the database and escalate or elevate its authorization, in that case, this attack signature, by checking the content of the header, HTTP GET request, this is an HTTP GET request. By checking the header of the HTTP request, it can match the pattern or match the signature, and it will immediately know that this is a SQL injection attack, and it can block this attack and protect our network from this attacker. So this is just an example, nothing special about this. Even if you don't understand it, this is coding is involved, so even if you don't understand the HTTP coding in detail, that's okay. This is just an example of how signature matching is done by the IPS internally. The next concept that is important to understand is the concept of signature filter. The way we implement signatures, or the way the signatures are configured to protect our network in the IPS, is by using signature filters. There are different types of signatures that combine together in what we call a signature filter, and the traffic is checked against signature filters and the signatures which are part of the filter. So we can say that signature filter is a container which contains multiple signatures, or we add different signatures to that container based on our requirement, and all the signatures that are part of this container called signature filter are going to be checked when the traffic passes through this signature filter, or when we are trying to protect, or when we are trying to filter the traffic based on this signature filter. The signature filter can also have actions. It can have the block action, it can have the alert action, and it can have the default action, which means that it uses the default actions of the signatures. So the signatures also have different actions available, and the signature filter, which contains different signatures, will also have its actions. And by the way, it is important to understand that if the action of the signature, individual signature, is different from the action of the signature filter, the signature filter action is going to take precedence. If, for example, if an individual signature has an action of alert, and the signature filter has the action of block, the traffic that matches this signature is going to be blocked, because the signature filter action is going to be followed and not the action of individual signature. This will be clearer, this will be much clearer when we look at the configuration as well. However, at this point it is important to understand the fundamental point that multiple signatures become part of the signature filter. Our signature filter is a container which contains multiple signatures based on the criteria that we select, or the criteria we choose for selecting the signatures. The next important concept to understand is the concept of exception signature. Exception signature is generally used if we want to have a different action taken on the signature filter than what is configured on the filter. So if any one of the signature matches, and if that is an exception signature, then the action of the signature filter is going to be overridden by the exception signature. So exception signature is used to change the behavior or change the action of the signature filter, which we discussed in the last slide. Once again, as I said earlier, this will be much clearer when we take a look at the configuration, or when we understand a few more concepts. So even if this is not making 100% sense, or it's not clear 100%, that's okay. These are slightly confusing concepts, and these are slightly complicated concepts, but they'll be clearer once you look at this video and the next few videos. So the important point, once again, the take home from this slide is to understand that a signature has got an action, a signature filter which contains multiple signatures has got an action defined, and then the exception signature can also have an action. And the precedence or the priority of these actions is that exception signature is going to have the highest precedence, then the signature filter, and then finally the lowest precedence is going to be of the individual signature. How this traffic processing flow works, that whenever traffic is flowing through an IPS and that traffic matches a signature, the IPS module searches for the profile that references the signature. We'll look at traffic profiles, or we'll look at the IPS profiles later on. But if a signature is matched, the first thing that is going to be checked is that does this flow match an exception signature? If the exception signature is matched, then the action for the exception signature applies, because as I told you, exception signature has got the highest precedence. If there is no exception signature or it does not match an exception signature, then if it is checked that whether it matches the signature filter. If it matches the signature filter, the action for the signature filter will apply. If not, then the traffic is going to be allowed, or the traffic is going to be allowed to pass through. So here you can see this is an example. These are the individual signatures. There are 4 signatures that have been configured, that are there. Signature A01, A02, A03 and A04. These are the 4 signatures, and you can see that each signature has got an action of alert, block, alert and alert. So each signature has got its own individual action. Then these signatures have been made a part of a profile which contains 2 signature filters, filter 1 and filter 2. So this will make the concept, as I said, clearer. We'll discuss about the profiles later on, but just remember that a profile can have different signature filters, and each signature filter can have different signatures in it, and each signature filter can also have an exception signature. So we can see that this signature filter contains these 2 signatures, and the action of the signature filter is default, whereas the action of this signature filter is alert. So we can see that if any of the signatures is matched, so when the traffic is passing through the IPS, and let's say if the signature A1 is matched, if the traffic matches the signature A1, we can see that the A1 signature is not part of any exception signature. Signature A1 has not been configured as an exception signature. However, signature A1 is part of a signature filter here, which is signature filter 1. Therefore, the action of signature filter 1 will apply. However, the action defined in signature filter 1 says that this is take the default action, which means that the default action of signature A01 will apply, which is alert. Therefore, signature A01 has got the action of alert because of this default action, which was its own action alert. If you look at signature A02, A02 has been configured as an exception signature here. So for it, the action of exception signature, which is alert, will apply. Signature A3, no exception signature, is part of signature filter 2, and the action for signature filter 2 is alert. So this has got the action of alert. Signature A4, and you can see here that the action is defined here because it's alert, therefore its action is alert. Since the action here is not default, therefore A3's default action will not be looked at. This alert is going to be implemented here. Finally, if you look at A4, this is an exception signature for signature filter 2. Therefore, the action here is block. Therefore, this block action is going to be followed. Whereas this is block action has been taken, and you can see although A4 is part of signature filter 2 whose action was alert, it is also part of its individual action is also alert. However, this alert or this alert are not going to be considered, and this block action is going to be implemented because A4 is defined as an exception signature, and we know that exception signatures have the highest precedence, then the signature filter, and then the individual filter actions. So this slide is extremely important to understand the actions that are taken on different types of traffic depending upon whether that traffic matches an exception signature or matches a signature in a signature filter, or the action of individual signature is followed and implemented. If we look at the detection directions, how the traffic is detected within the IPS, the detection direction is dependent upon the side which originates the connection. So for example, if a user is accessing a server here, a user from the internet is accessing the server, this signature or this traffic is an inward traffic because the connection was established by the user from outside. So this is an inward traffic coming towards our intranet or towards our data center. However, if a user sitting inside of our intranet, it tries to access a server on the outside, this is going to be an outward connection, or the flow of traffic is going to be this way, outward, and the IPS is going to filter this traffic that is trying to go out. So the inward or outward direction of the traffic is very important to understand, that the traffic or the direction from which the session is initiated towards the destination, that is going to determine the direction of the traffic flow. And the final concept that we need to understand before we start looking at the configurations, that is the characteristics of NIP security policies. What we do is that we configure a security policies in the network intrusion prevention system. The traffic is checked against those security policies, and it controls the traffic forwarding and performs content security checks. So it first checks whether the traffic matches that policy. If the traffic matches the policy, then the security policy checks are implemented, and based on those checks, the action is performed, that is of either blocking the traffic or generating an alerts or generating logs or whatever actions we have configured. So as a result, what is going to happen is when we apply this policy, when we configure and apply this policy on the IPS, the traffic, for example, going from our intranet towards the internet is going to be checked, and illegitimate traffic is going to be blocked, and only the legitimate traffic is going to be sent out towards the internet. So these were the basic or fundamental concepts of IPS. Based on these concepts and based on this understanding, we are now in a position to understand the configuration and practical implementation of IPS in our network. So we'll take a look at those configurations in the next video. So see you in the next video. Thank you.